Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode, I suppose, of the Scrying Pool Podcast. This is our 9th edition of this, and this is going to be covering what has occurred in Runescape in February and March of 2013. I would say it's a couple exciting months, but it was really like an exciting 2 weeks right at the end of February. With a lot of hype leading up to it and a lot of speculation. So without further ado, I will introduce everybody here. I am Knight of Knee, aka I'm Kerrigan, aka whatever, Caroline. Y'all know me from all over the place. I'm joined here by Orange.
Hello.
Lime.
Hiya.
Rubik.
Hello.
Kitten.
No.
Robo.
Hello.
Shiraki.
So.
And Walter is in the chat as usual. We will relay his messages as appropriate. We're gonna go ahead and get right on into this. Hopefully this won't be a retardedly long podcast, and hopefully 90% of it will be discussing the World Wakes and everything that's surrounding it. But first things first, I think we mentioned it in the last podcast, sinkholes was at the beginning of February. Yay, sinkholes, decent, all DGXP, I mean, all that stuff. I don't think anybody really has much to say about that, but it happened, and yeah, we've discussed it.
It happened and it happened.
Yeah, pretty much what Lime said.
It's not part of the World Wakes.
Yeah, has no relevance to the World Wakes whatsoever. Slayer Tower update was the second thing in February. They also introduced what do they call it? The Slayer contracts?
Yeah.
Slayer contracts, yep.
And I'd kind of like to hear what you guys think of the especially the contracts themselves, like how they tie in with the tower and how they tie in with the stuff. And of course the lore of the tower that we learn a little bit more of.
Not much of, though.
Various journals. But yeah, it's not much, but it's still some.
It's stuff we already speculated.
Robo, go.
The God of Empty Promises. I thought that was pretty funny. To hear how, it wasn't just a case of the dragon rares, but also the humans, Zeros, gave them some false hope that they'd be, like, treated as equals. Some could argue that promise then did come true, because if you look at the modern age and the 5th age, humans are pretty much the dominant race. However, it wasn't because of Zeus.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff. There's not a whole lot. It's not one of those kind of lore-drenched updates, but they've been good about throwing that kind of stuff in.
I liked how they were teasing us with those concept art pictures of the new Slayer monsters, and then they don't even show up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Nope.
All those will show up eventually. They still have that range Slayer dungeon planned for later this year too, so there's some Slayer updates, and obviously the combat stuff that we'll talk about a little bit later.
But in regards to the contracts of the Slayer Tower, they're pretty useful. It gives you a reward at the end, and you no longer need a Slayer gem with you in order to know how many you have to kill.
Oh yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. Of course, it takes up a spot in your inventory, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but
True.
It's just something you don't have to worry about remembering, I suppose.
Yeah.
I found out even Marcus goes and gets the Slayer contract for you if you left it in your bank.
Well, that's convenient.
That is convenient. Yeah.
That's nice. The only contract I did, I just kind of camped Necrails until they all died. But yeah,
Pretty much.
that was like the most boring hour and a half of my life.
The only bad part about the Slayer Tower, though, is that some of the creatures are right next to each other, so it's easy to attack the wrong thing quite often.
Oops.
It depends where you are, of course.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with that with mine, but I could see with some of the other critters.
I've only really seen that between, like, Necrails and Abyssal Demons, but it's pretty easy to stay separate. The rest seems like it's just a mess of rooms that you get to run through, but I don't know, that's not really a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't mind it, and I like how you're not running through every critter now. You've got a central staircase that you kind of run to, and then there are the wings of the tower that have everything in it. And yeah, I mean, granted, it makes it so that it's less dangerous or whatever, but it's much easier to get to where you're trying to go, and it's less annoying to have to run through the freaking Spectre room if you've forgotten your Slayer helm or the Banshees, etc. Like, it's less obnoxious. There's less, oh shit, I have to go bank now because I now have like level 20 in all stats instead of 85. Thanks, Banshees. But yeah. Okay, so that's that. It looks awesome, and all the graphical updates look pretty good. Also occurring in February, we are not going to touch on this for more than 2 seconds, but there's that vote thing, and
okay, done.
And apparently there is now an 07scape available in game. No, that's okay. That's enough of that.
That was 3 seconds.
Yeah, it exists. That's about all we're going to cover. This is about the live game. So the first big update for us in February was that little mini quest that they added for Kharshai, and I'm just gonna, like, this is not a spoiler-free podcast. If you're watching this and trying to avoid spoilers, what the hell are you doing watching this? But,
we've seen guys.
Yeah, thanks, Lime. But so Kharshai was, in fact, Kharshai the Deathless from Relica, and there's an interesting mini quest that goes along with that. So what were your thoughts on this? I know that the CC had lots of things to say about it.
The Balmung is actually something useful.
Yay, colors. That's like, I mean, I was asked to bring you a colored Balmung, and I brought you a colored Balmung. I don't remember anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty good... Go ahead.
It wasn't that it was used... Oh, sorry, Robo. You go.
Okay. Well, I like that they based the beginning of the mini quest off of the real world tale of Kush. Like how this person that couldn't be killed because he had his heart inside a chest inside a... I can't remember what it was, like buried under a tree on the middle of an island.
In a ship, or it was this crystal in a ship, in a chest, in a tree.
Oh no, it was an egg too there. I remember that.
Was there?
Yep, there's well, not in the in-game one, but the real world story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the in-game story, it was the multi-layered series of locks that was interesting, and it didn't take the mini quest itself didn't take particularly long, but it answered a lot of our questions about, well, where the hell was Kharshai during the ritual, during all of this, and where does he stand? So what are your thoughts on that aspect? Where he stands?
He seems a bit neutral at the moment.
I mean, he seems like the one Gothixian. Well, he's not Gothixian. He would agree with Gothics, but I'm not sure that they would go about it the same way. They just want balance between the two sides.
Yeah, I totally agree there.
And it was kind of interesting to watch it's kind of interesting to watch the two sides attempt to fight over the one Madrat that wasn't aligned. And even though he wasn't a powerful Madrat, it was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, if you think about it, you've got how many on each side? 3? 4?
It was 4 on each side. Bilrak is gone somewhere weird.
Theoretically, and and that's for a later podcast. But so it's what? So we have Azzy, Slisky, Akthanakos, and is there a 4th on the Zerosian side? Yzitol, that's right. Okay, so there are 4. I don't know why I blanked on that one. And then on the Zamorakian side, you obviously have Zemrigal and Akra.
Well,
Azil possibly.
Hazard.
Haziel and Khazard. And Haziel is...
may or may not be kind of...
We're gonna count him as alive.
You know,
He's
one
alive,
thing I was
he's alive
wondering...
in my game. Yeah, he's 50% alive.
That works.
He's alive in my game, that's all that matters, right?
It's Schrodinger's Majorat.
Oh dear God. But either way, it's like you have four Majorat on each side, and there's this little power struggle going on to make that balance 5 against 4 on one side or the other, and Kharshai has pretty much said, I'm not getting involved in this, I'm gonna stay neutral here, so that, it's not...
So that he doesn't... It's kind of a risky move, though. He could be the next dead.
And he mentions that. Did he mention that, or was it one of the others?
One of the others.
My brain was wiped with the World Lake spam.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think all of us have that. But... it was Anakra. Anakra said it.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Akra's Lament like an actual requirement for that? Because otherwise it doesn't really make much sense.
It probably would be, but...
the ritual was? If ritual was, then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anakra was absolutely a requirement.
I'm not sure what the requirements for the mini quest were, to be honest.
Well, Walter says the ritual was. And Blood Runs Deep. That's a high requirement mini quest.
Yeah.
BRD. Oops.
Rottenberg.
So that was an interesting, it was kind of an expected reveal. I mean, most people were, aside from my largely sarcastic spamming about Kenneth being Kharshai,
it should have been Reldo.
It's still a legitimate thing. Kenneth is clearly a Majorat. But, so most people kind of thought that it was going to end up being Kharshai. But...
is it Kharshai or Koshi?
I'm pretty sure it'd be Kharshai, but... because the Relica, the Fremenic, the entire Fremenic thing is a Germanic. It's based on Germanic stuff. I mean, Nata's not and Yata's so.
Yeah,
it's
but...
very, very clearly Germanic. And Kharshai would be the way you'd pronounce that in German.
However, Koshi the Deathless was a Slavic myth.
Well, maybe. I think either one works, to be honest.
Yeah, I just looked at the pronunciation dictionary thing.
I don't even bother with the pronunciation dictionary. I just look at it and
it's not helpful at all.
I think it's gonna be like this. And then I just pronounce it like that until I hear otherwise.
Ooh, I win!
And even when I do hear otherwise...
Well, they also said that, when they found him, he was, repeating his name over and over again, and that's what they thought he was saying. So if it was Kharshai, it would be something similar to Kharshai or whatever.
His lips were so frozen that he could not form his own name.
Well, I mean, he was what? He was left off, he was attacked by assassins, and then and it was at that point that he sealed himself? He sealed, his inner being away or something?
I mean...
I can't remember exactly what happened.
My own personal headcanon says it dictates that he fended off the assassins, but he was sinking, and then he sealed himself away to protect himself for future stuff.
Then 500, almost 500 years later.
That's what it looks like. Kharshai. But it could be Kharshi. I don't know. That I could be taken in both ways that...
That's just annoying.
Yeah, because that I could be an E sound or it could be an I sound.
Can we have a pronunciation guide for
Can we have a better pronunciation guide?
Yeah, really.
I think it's Kharshai, but
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't really matter.
We all know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And if you don't, what are you doing watching this podcast? But please keep watching if you for some reason don't know, because
we're here to help.
But yeah, so that was interesting, and
the world waits.
I think that's all we have to say about Kharshai, unless anybody else has something to pipe up about.
Back.
Oh, well, I like that the Balmung was made out of Baynor.
Right.
That was a small theory.
Do you think they'll have any significant, like the upgrades, do you think they'll have any significant to what's to come later?
What? Say that again?
Like the Balmung upgrades that we got in the mini quest, do you think like each one will have a specific, like, what effect on something?
Not really. I think it's just cosmetic.
I don't
seems
know.
a bit.
I can't really
It seems a bit silly though, to be honest.
Well, this is Jagex we're dealing with, so.
True.
I forget if it was the week after or if it was the week before, but I think we're forgetting one really big update. When they reintroduced the random event people and put them back into the world.
Oh.
Yeah, they stole my
Don't think
suggestion. Sorry.
It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
There wasn't a whole lot with this, unless they all had new dialogue that was kind of lore filled. But I mean, Mr. Mordaunt was mentioned a new dragonkin apparently. I leave this to you guys because I never saw this dialogue.
Neither have I, because
today.
It was just an obscure mention of a dragonkin named Taraket, and basically it was us informing Mr. Mordaunt.
So we're supposed to already know about Taraket?
No. He tells us about Taraket, but we tell him most of the information about the dragonkin that is known.
The journals from like on the Queen Black Dragon and the King Black Dragon.
Ah, gotcha.
Also, Mr. Mordaunt is mixed with a fairy dragon, and what was it? What else is he? Forget.
I think it was Dragonkin and a fairy dragon.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah. Forgot it has
fairy dragon.
You know that
dragon.
from
As it sounds.
Kicklick.
From what?
that thing from Recipe for Disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Collect.
I don't remember that quest at all.
Also, an interesting thing about fairy dragons is that they were apparently brought into the world in the first stage, which would seemingly be before the dragonkin created their dragons, so the fairy dragons might not have been created by the dragonkin at all.
Maybe the dragonkin and the fairy dragons were created by their own creators.
Wow, I totally don't remember that guy. Alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for that Click exists and that Click is a fairy dragon.
It does. It claims to be one, I think.
Yeah, alright. Oh, we'll go with that then. Yeah.
Nice.
And interesting apparently, was that an examine on Click?
Yeah. It's pretty much a stock examine option on a bunch of stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, well... Oh, I mean, yeah, but it's still interesting to think about, where it's the examine for Click apparently says, could this be one of the Elder Dragons? So, you know, an interesting thought there as well. But yeah, so the new Homes for Old Characters update gave the random event characters new homes elsewhere, and Mr. Mordaunt? I don't know.
I thought it was Mordaunt.
Okay,
It's not me.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's not me.
I would also like to point out that it was my suggestion to put Mr. Mordaunt as a professor in the Varrock Museum, so cool.
Okay, Lime.
Scryer points.
So yeah, you get some Scryer skill points.
Yeah!
Okay, anyways.
No.
But yeah, so now that we've touched on all of that, all of the things that actually came out in February, now it's time to actually spam about something. The World Wakes was, as Mo called it, a quest event. And I think that actually sums it up better than just a master quest. It was an actual event in game, and they're treating it as such. It was a quest event that came out on, what was it, the 4th or something? And
yep, March 4th.
January 4th?
Hello, spam in chat. Yeah, it came out on March 4th, and it pretty much set the ball rolling for the gods coming back. The edicts along with Guthix are gone.
The edicts are done.
Yeah, the edicts are gone. And the way is paved for all of the gods to return to Gielinor.
We are now a guardian of Guthix, or really we shouldn't be calling it that anymore since he wants us to forget us, so let's call it World Guardian.
We're the World Guardian. And
sounds a lot cooler.
Yeah, we're the World Guardian, and we are now in the 6th age after the shortest age ever.
To be honest,
169 years.
To be honest, if I was a historian, I'd just group the current 5th age under the 4th age.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
what was the it's not that what was the delineation between the 4th and 5th age? What was that?
Wasn't that the rediscovery of magic?
Runecrafting.
It's done by V.
Yeah, but that's not important compared to
it's a rediscovery of runecrafting then.
Or was it the rediscovery because of Rune Mysteries and Rune Memories kind of shattered it as like a rediscovery, but it was the
No, we rediscovered it.
Of it, I guess.
We rediscovered it, and then we lost it, and then we rediscovered it.
Okay, Lime. Or maybe it did...
Actually,
it was
the first discovery of runecrafting in the 5th age. Because they didn't know how to make runes before. Like, while we may have had magic in the 1st age out throughout the 4th age, when runecrafting was discovered in the 5th age, that's the only known time that runecrafting is ever discovered.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually...
They made runes a long time ago.
I think the way that they described it in Rune Memories and Rune Mysteries is that it was the discovery of the teleportation system that allowed runecrafting to be done commercially, I guess.
That is true, yes.
Because I think they always knew, those two quests pretty much revealed that they always knew how to do it. Like, the problem was getting to the essence.
We're so off topic.
Yeah, but the essence didn't exist until the Stone Jazz was touched.
But yeah, it was getting to the essence that was the problem. But then Walter says that wasn't the start of the age, so why don't you tell me what the start of the age?
The start of the age is when the pure essence is like created at all. Because before V touched the stone, or found it, pure essence was not existed in Gielinor at all. Well, at least not known. So runecrafting couldn't have existed that time, before then.
Then I guess it was the discovery of the rune essence. And then they figured out, okay.
Let's do some stuff with it.
Let's make things.
Anyways.
Oh, apparently that's when... Apparently year 1 is when V discovered, the Stone of Jazz and the Rune Essence, apparently.
Yeah. We found them both. Huh.
Oh, it was created because of the Stone of Jazz. Just like Day Outlaw was created because of the Stone of Jazz. And that place in Glackor is because of that.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Baneor, Day Outlaw, and Rune Essence?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Baneor.
Well, Baneor is the thing that's in Glackor, so...
Yeah.
Can I say something about the quest itself now?
No.
Why? Alright, so at the end of the quest, we saw like the backstory to Guthix. We saw his destroyed homeworld. We saw the main reason why he became the god of Guthix. His
god of balance?
Sorry.
Pretty sure he didn't become the god of himself. Anyways, go on.
He is balance. So, he became the god of balance because of what happened to his homeworld. And you remember the example that his test to make sure that we were worthy of being the guardian of Guthix, or the world guardian. At that point, I'm pretty sure that everyone was thinking, like, oh, this is a pretty creative example. I'll just go through this and make sure this is balanced. And then once you get to Guthix's memory, you're like, oh.
This is actually what happened. Yeah, I know, that was my thought, is I saw the Naragi and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do the balancing. And actually, the first time I went through that, I didn't even think that I was looking for balance. And I was just like, alright, which is morally correct, I guess.
That's what I did.
I thought it was gonna be like the
totally
decider. I thought it was gonna be like the decider of what goes on, like, in the future.
Yeah, I did too, and when I saw the chaos and evil start going on, I was like, God damn it, no! But yeah, that was interesting, the way that they did that. But, yeah, that link was well done, to say the least.
That was just brilliant link. I mean,
that was really well done.
Good on Maud Anna. That was amazing.
Maud Anna's a freaking boss. So let's just throw that out there right now.
This has been established.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every bit of her freaking content has been like.
Every bit of her existence is awesome. It is a refined form of awesome.
And they all have pets.
Yes.
I laughed so hard when I saw the pets there were going to be pets for rewards. I just busted out laughing because I'm like, that's such typical Maud Anna.
That's an Anna thing to do.
Of course there would be pets as a reward.
So then we see that Guthix is the most tortured person in all of Guylenor. Like, I remember like this quote that says that every time a person dies, an entire world is destroyed, and the same goes for every time a person is saved, an entire world is saved. Guthix has endured the destruction of billions of worlds then, and his entire homeland has been ravaged, and at the end of the God Wars, he saw his entire creation be ravaged the same way. So
I don't know if we can take that every time a person is saved or died. I don't think we can take that literally.
Well,
but
a lot of people.
I mean, it's a metaphor, but I mean, this is massive torment to him. This is big time suffering. Look what the gods did to him.
Yeah. I mean, and it was the going through the what do I want to even call that? At the end of the quest, his memories. Going through when he was in Naragi form and he was talking to you about these things, it was just like, holy crap. There's just like so much more to all of this. It was like walking through a concentration camp.
That can be taken many ways, but to an extent, But at the end I was kind of like, oh my god, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Like, I mean, I'm not ashamed to say that I was literally in tears at points in there.
Because the music really was amazing. It really set the mood.
It was just...
I'd like to point something out that people will probably notice too. Did anyone notice that Sparadolan symbol in the Mirage?
Anybody saw the what?
The Sparadolan symbol.
Oh, I didn't see it. No. I mean, I can go back and look through in my video, but...
There's like there's just like a big cracked, I'm not sure, a flat rock or whatever, and there's just like a giant Sparadolan symbol, and it's like undoubtedly a Sparadolan symbol. I wonder if there's actually...
I didn't pay attention. I was too busy clicking on various Naragi corpses.
And Skargara.
I wonder if that...
Oh yeah, the god that Guthix killed apparently had a wiki page for him the day after that was pretty much said, God that Guthix killed was the only text for him. Like, well, that's a little bit, that's not enough for that guy. But yeah, going through that entire sequence was just like, oh my god.
I mean, I'm glad that in lore character perspective, I'm glad that Guthix is finally at peace and balanced now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that the backstory I created for my character actually matches what Guthix is one of out of any follower type people. Because in the backstory it says that, what I created for my character was that he doesn't actually worship Guthix, he just works his ways.
Yeah, we aren't Guthix's followers, we're Guthix's friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember
We're treated as such.
It's in my Skype, quote right now.
I remember in the clan chat, Yogg was telling us about, that another way to kind of look at it is that Guthix is kind of like a puppet master in a way. Kind of like manipulating us in a way so that we can fulfill his dream of a perfect world. Mm-hmm. As a flip side to he's just trying,
we're
he's
not gods, so we won't be worshipped by others. Right?
Right.
At best, we'll just be praised.
Yeah, it's because that's the thing that Guthix, he made abundantly clear, especially in his closing words, was that, yeah, he modeled Gielinor in such a way that people would do their own thing, that they wouldn't worship him, they wouldn't make sacrifices to him, that they wouldn't do that stuff because he wanted a world free of the gods, and then but he was himself a god, so he could never realistically think or hope that would even happen. And so the struggle, the internal struggle of Guthix to kind of try and do, I mean, he was trying to be hypocritical almost. He was trying to make a world without gods by being a god he's trying to get us, it does seem like he's trying to get us to do what he wants, but because we're not gods, we won't be worshipped as such, and yeah.
Will be remembered like Arup was, or...
Anyway, yeah. Is Gina here?
Yeah.
Gina hasn't said anything, but I see her in chat and stuff. But
because it's all gonna come out of spam anyway.
Yeah, it is all kind of spam. But speaking of gods, so there was another character in the quest that may or may not have had an important role in, well, the entire thing. So we get met by Slisky early on, before spam in the chat. We get met by Slisky up in the second room after the joke of Orlando Smith as a Majorat, which I mean...
Orlando, is there something you're not telling me?
Huh? Yeah. Is there something you're not telling me? But yeah, we get attacked by the automatons, whatever you want to call them.
Automatrons.
Yeah, the automatons in the second room. After we defeat them, Slisky shows up and says, "Sup, dog," among other things. But yeah, he pretty much introduces himself and is like, "Alright, so you're gonna get to Guthix. You need to get to Guthix before they do because Zeros wants the Zerosians, I guess, not Zeros himself, necessarily." Was Zeros himself? Was he like Zeros himself wants to reason with?
The Zerosians wanted to reason with him so that Zeros can come back.
Yeah, I thought it was that Zerosians wanted to.
Well, technically they do have like a telephone like system for Zaros.
Sort of.
Wow, that just reminds me of a conversation forever ago. Yeah, so, it's like, it's so off topic, I'm not even gonna say it.
Okay.
To basically, what would it be like to walk into the communion portal?
Oh, right. That one. But yeah, Slisky shows up and is like, "I'm Guthix, leave me alone," or something like that, and we're like,
What happens if you would have said you believed him?
I think he would have said something like, you're a gullible fool.
Yeah. I'm gonna laugh at you.
Because I said the middle option, which was
Yeah, just how do I know you're Guthix?
how do I know that you are Guthix? Because I don't believe you.
I said the lime thing to say, which is probably the one that would have gotten me killed if it was really Guthix.
You're not Guthix. What are you doing?
I said you're not Guthix as well, because I knew he wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Slisky shows up, and then he disappears.
Yeah, and then you forget
and the
about
other Zerosians show up, and then all the
about the teleporting around the world part.
Like, you forget about Slisky until the very part that the door to Guthix's tomb breaks, and then you're like, how did I forget?
Right.
How did I forget this? No, this can't happen.
Yeah. I mean, you have all of the other Zerosian Majorat and Zerosian characters are there. I mean, Nex is there, you have Char, you have,
Hi Nex, can I ask you questions?
You have Aziwahi and, Akthanakos. Really, all the Majorat are there except for Kharshai. And Haziel, because lol Haziel.
Hazard didn't want to come because he knew he was going to lose.
Hazard too. Do we know why?
Because he lost 2 times.
He's too noob to show up anyway.
Oh right, because we kicked his ass twice. in fight arena and at the ritual. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I think we're all bored of fighting him too.
But yeah, we did that. Gina mentioned in the chat that we did that tour around the world thing. We're checking the thing, but I don't think that's particularly relevant with Slisky. Because that's
I was so happy that happened.
Yeah, I mean that's just like mentioning. It's just describing how the alarm system works, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just to let everybody about the
I was more like, oh gee, we're in the Shadow Realm, yay.
It was just to get Robo's theory about the sword in the wilderness correct. That's about it.
I was like, okay, Robo definitely wrote this quest. Jump straight to Edict's sword.
Yeah.
And then Slisky gives you that smug look at the very end.
God, what a dick.
He just turns around and you're like, ah!
Like, no! What are you doing?
And then he yells,
are you asking me, or what?
You know that puzzle with, after all the boss fights and you're protecting Juna and all that?
Oh yeah.
Is Juna able to die in that? Or is that like you start over the puzzle?
Did anyone seriously let his lorenoobs in?
I didn't have any problems keeping them out.
Well,
yeah. Might start glitching.
You could die though.
And then I lowered it to like 50 LP, and even then I almost saved Juna. So
all of mine just like glitched and stopped doing anything, and they were just spawning. So I just waited for the timer to go out.
Yeah, it was really glitchy.
Who all could die?
Fiara.
I know that Fiara got cleaved in half by like half of the clan.
What? I don't think anyone died for me wasn't supposed to.
No one died for me, but like I don't understand how if you actually spent the time and went through it, I don't see how you should have let anyone die.
Well, there was the two that was, I think it was Fiara and
Cress.
Thirsk.
And Cress. No. Yeah, it was
Cress.
Cress was the other one.
Oh. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it was Cress because it was Zemrigal that was the one that cleaves Fiara in half. Is like, bitch, please.
No, it's
Zilliana kills Cress.
Yeah, Zilliana killed Cress.
No, but this is it. This is
in the battles.
In the battles.
Yeah, in the battles, yeah.
He can die.
Cress brings the automaton army to fight Zemrigal because he brings his undead army.
Oh, Theris.
That's why you have those two.
Robots versus zombies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Theris was another one who could die.
Who was?
Yep.
Theris?
Oh, Theris could die?
What?
Theris
because he was one of the 3 people that remembered the number.
Yeah, so good luck finding it again, unless someone, digs into it.
It probably ended up in Robo's POH, and he's not letting it go.
Wait, you basically told me on floor 61.
I went and bothered Therisk after the quest, so...
Crest got killed because he was a bot, and Zilyana took it upon herself to banhammer him.
Yeah, clearly.
Watcher General
Yeah.
Zilyana.
Sure.
That was a
Too
creepy
bad.
thing.
But Crest was awesome. I wish he didn't die. I mean, it makes. Yeah, I wish he didn't die.
It's one of those. There has to be somebody that's not good. That entire sequence isn't going to come through without somebody getting.
Oh god, it's like Hazelmere all over again.
But Hazelmere, but we had quests with Hazelmere at the central part of, what was it? It was Path of Glowfree.
quests.
Yeah.
You wanna know the real reason Crest died?
Sure, go for it.
Just so the automatons could be explained that you could kill them. Because if Crest didn't die, you'd be like, hey, why are you killing my robots? Just
I
like
did not hear
Keanu
that.
was the reason.
I can't really hear what you're saying.
The reason Crest died is so that his automaton could be explained why you're killing them after the quest. Because they're all mad, they don't have a leader anymore. If it was still there, you'd be
Sure, it's
literally
an
like,
explanation for the Slayer
I guess
thing.
okay, got it.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got it. What level do those things require for Slayer anyway?
70.
80 something, I think.
I'm just like Indy 467. Like,
No.
It's in the 80s, I know that.
Okay. I may
No,
not be able to kill
it's
them,
not.
actually. I don't really care, I haven't tried.
same.
It is 67?
Yeah, that's,
What?
Oh.
yeah,
What?
it is.
Well, we just got 67, guys.
I called it.
Typical
Just like I
non-anime.
called Orlando dying by random fireball.
Yeah. Well. Poor
Intrigue.
Orlando. But yeah, so we have that, and there's, and Slisky, and... Doc and I deciphering, and I guess with a little bit of, it was mostly me, with Doc and Mo helping a little bit. We deciphered that entire message of the parchment at the beginning of the quest in the first room.
Did you actually get the word parchment?
Yeah, well I think we touched on parchment, but we were like, nah, it doesn't really look like parchment. But that was the only word that we missed. We had everything else. I think I ended up with compartment or something like that. But yeah.
Well, I guess that you actually said the word at all again.
I kind of knew from the beginning that after you guys translated it, it was about the automatons.
Yeah.
Automatons.
Automatons?
Automatons.
I don't know, whatever.
Actually, it was about the neurologies.
Yeah, I was like, what? What are you guys saying?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's talking about the male and the female.
Yeah, I think
That probably is true, yeah.
It's not automatons.
Yeah, my fault. Whoops.
So, another thing I want to bring up, in the frequently asked questions.
Well, there's so much info in there.
Yeah,
Siroki got the Staff of Armadillo back.
Well,
from the Dragon Kin.
You mean Slisky?
Whoops, yeah.
Is this true?
I mean,
I'm telling a lot.
I
Okay.
K-Ruben.
I have the Staff of Armadillo!
But yeah, I guess actually, we'll touch on that first. So Slisky does kill Guthix with the Staff of Armadillo that was destroyed in the ritual. What?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they destroy that thing? Why is it here?
Obviously killed Glaycors and...
No problem.
He can't, the first thing that I saw in the CC when I
What
got
would be
back and
more
we were
ridiculous?
discussing this was, clearly he camped Glaycors for another staff. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
dear. Oh dear God.
I had a theory a while
Years enough for that.
Go on, Sean.
I had a theory a little while back that Slisky actually stole the Staff of Armadillo from Lucian for a long time and then replaced it with a replica. So Lucian the entire time was using a fake staff.
I mean, that would work, except it said staff killed Lucian. And it clearly has serious juice to it if the orb can be a magical weapon for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, random copy paste of official answer.
Yeah, here's the copy paste, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll just go ahead and read this for whoever didn't. Maud Osborne said, the Guardians of Armadyl made it clear that the dragon can have the shaft of the Staff of Armadyl after the ritual. This quest doesn't contradict that. Slisky has managed to get his hands on the staff even though it has been in the hands of a dragonkin. Of a dragonkin. No, A. Not the, A. But yeah. I don't want to reveal any more than that since it will form a central element of a future quest. God damn it, stop spamming the chat. I wanted to read this. Suffice to say that Slisky has the shaft, and it has been easy for him to craft a replacement orb. Camping Lakors, clearly. How Slisky got the staff will form another revelation, oh my god, revelation that dramatically affects the world. So yeah.
Yeah, totally kidding. Slacker.
I think he told them about what he was going to do with Gothics, even though how could he have expected to find Gothics anyway?
Well, I mean, it was one of those things like they talk about it throughout the quest with the Mazzaroth. Like they all know that this is going to happen sometime, and it's one
Eventually.
of those. I'm going to be vigilant and just be ready when it hits. And it just happened to hit at this point in year 169 when we're there, and we get involved, and we've already been, and I mean we get Guthix's blessing midway through the quest and stuff, and so yeah, this could have happened any time in the next 500 years or whatever. But it just happened to happen now.
Because Orlando Smith discovered little runes.
Yes.
Way to go, Orlando Smith. Causing trouble since whenever. Never mind.
Way to screw up the world, Orlando Smith.
I don't know where I was going with that.
You should have just taken that drawing off the wall like he was trying to.
What drawing off the wall?
Yeah, I wanted to take that.
Oh yeah, he was talking about trying to take the carving off the wall.
Oh right. When we're like, well, we want to bring something back, and we're like, we go and click the carving on the wall, and we're like, he's like, that's a little bit too big. I want to try something smaller.
Whatever Orlando Smith did, he did it for the lore.
He did it for the lore.
For the lore.
For that, we must honor him.
But yeah, so we have that, and then,
Let's talk about the mechanics.
Talk about what?
The mechanics. I mean, the boss battles were pretty good.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's go into that next.
Okay, that was where I had to relearn the combat system all over again.
Gina, learning to EOC for the third time.
I mean, to be honest, the mechanics were pretty inventive, and they would have been better if I was a lower level. I mean, the bosses, and there is a pun intended here, the bosses were balanced.
Yeah.
Hey.
The bosses died in like 2 seconds for me. I wasn't going in there expecting
except for
a Brink of Extinction boss fight.
Except for Nakra, or however
I
pronounced
had
it.
no problem.
She was just annoying.
Whatsoever.
She was just annoying. You know, you attack her, she heals up. And you would have to get her off of you.
Learn to mate.
Well, you just have to run behind a pillar. That wasn't too bad. It was just like, what is this?
I honestly thought...
Wait, that's why she teleported every time you ran behind a pillar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought that you had to stun her every time she did that, so I kept stunning her and waiting for my stun to recover, and then she would keep doing that. I was like super failing at that.
I just hardcore DPS'd her and she died. Like,
yeah, that's what I had to do.
I mean, the bosses were designed for lower levels, but they were good mechanics. They were creative.
Yeah, and I wasn't going in there expecting a Brink of Extinction boss fight or a Nomad boss fight. I was going in there expecting, like, it might be difficult, but you know, it's not going to be retardedly hard. Which
you're fighting.
It wasn't, and that was fine.
My final death count was 9, but that's fairly normal.
I had 1, and that wasn't even to the bosses. That was to the
automatons at the beginning.
No, it was to the
was it to the part where you're running to the area where?
It was to those.
Yes, I died to that too because I chose the stupid next one.
What? Wait, what?
It's like one where Nex freezes you and there's purple balls everywhere and there's 2 other options. I think one's just a direct teleport and I chose the one where you have to run through all this crap.
Yeah, I had to run through all of the crap too.
Same here.
But I died once in that because I got spammed for 1800s. I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting murdered here. But I got through the second time.
I was just wondering how everybody was dying there. I just had a nice little run.
I got to the quest start location. I see like a sea of graves over to my left. I'm like, what? This was before the quest funny. And after I was done. Both times I was just like, really, guys?
I honestly, it was just that they it was a lot of surprises. Like, I didn't expect someone to have, like, some kind of crazy mechanic. Like, the automatons all of a sudden, like, banging the floor. I was like, what's going on?
And you're like,
same. I died to that. And then I died to disconnect again, so
well, I was kind of expecting that. As soon as they did that, and I took a gigantic amount of damage the first time, I was like, okay, I should avoid that next time. Clearly they have a special. Funny. It is a quest critter, so I'm not surprised that they are throwing in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they keep that in the Slayer task too, so...
I hear they're obnoxious.
Yay.
No, I've heard it's easy.
It's easy to range them because then nothing walks up to you.
Apparently,
I brought my board
if you die to them, they become non-aggressive on return if you stand in the right spot.
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely. I ended up safe spotting the last of the automatons.
But
I got him stuck behind a pillar and I was just maging him from a distance. Because...
Pillars just solve so many problems.
They really do.
Yeah.
What I was a bit upset about was that Kriera just kind of gave up.
Okay, I pretty much defined all the boss fights here as making every important character ever rage quit.
Yeah, pretty much. So pretty much.
Zemrigal, rage quit. Anakra, rage quit. Grardor, rage quit. Krill, rage quit. Kree...
We also got to tell him he's late.
Yes.
Zoriana's the only one who didn't.
To be honest, Krill was pretty mad to begin with.
Who didn't rage quit, Robo?
Zoriana. I have to admit, even though I hate Sardoin, she has some guts to just, like, trash talk next, and she's, like, sitting in a room with, like, 30 different people.
Yeah. Like, she's obviously gonna be just slaughtered if she actually went up against them.
Come at me, bro. And they were like, oh,
do you really?
I thought of her as Maud Anna for the whole quest.
Well, I mean, yeah. I was like, could you at least give Ziliana voice acting? Because we know that Anna is her voice actor.
I mean, Ziliana was a bit of a bitch during the quest. Like, she acted like...
It was her time of the month. Be nice.
Alright,
oh
fair.
God, I could not help that.
Oh.
Only kidding.
Oh my God.
Alright, well that wraps up this though.
Let's just stop there.
Alright.
Oh God.
Okay guys, we're done. This podcast can...
Anyways, but yeah, so that was, she was kind of a bitch the entire quest. Not gonna lie. But even at the end, it was interesting, the dialogue with Saradomin himself, where, I love his splash. He's like, alright, it's time for you to go. Splash. Damn it.
Oh crap.
Saradomin's a power abuser. If he doesn't like you, he just sends you away instantly.
Yeah. Saradomin is...
Wait, who did he teleport out of the room before?
He teleported all of his erosions. And I don't think it was before, I think it was after.
Yeah, he came in and was like, and they said something and he's like, be gone, and they just went out.
Yeah,
it was like, hold on a second, how did he teleport all those people?
What happened was, he came in, Ziliana was like, fuck yeah, we killed Guthix, you can come back now, and he's like, shut up, bitch, and teleports everybody. That was hilarious. I laughed so hard when he was like, no.
According to those teleports, apparently he sent them away to their local clan citadel.
I love the splash, because the splash isn't in game anymore. That's a pre-EOC splash. You can't actually splash magic anymore.
It's an old school splash, and you're just like, nope, we're done. No.
That was great.
Sarah Doman, you're a bit late.
I love the spam in the chat. Do your upkeep, guys. The U word. And we lost Robo. Oh well.
No.
Well, he'll be back. He's always comes back. So yeah, oh boy. But yeah, that old school splash was great. But the reaction of Sarah Doman was also quite nice. Like,
he was like, yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Robo.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that like if I wasn't getting over the shock of, oh shit, Slisky just killed Guthix and I just went through his entire memories, it would have been like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like, it's the random mage.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that part, that was very entertaining to say the least. I had something I wanted to mention about in the
Random mages.
in the frequently asked questions. Let me see if I can find it. You guys spam about something in the quest while I look up this.
So random mages. We have to make sure those guys going into scene.
Let's talk about the Origins of Galanor video.
Whatever.
Yeah, go.
Oh, that thing.
Space!
Wheatley
Never mind what
will
any of us were
officially
saying, we got
be
space.
the background for this video. Okay, anyways. Or not Wheatley.
I just heard about the video and they were talking about space.
For like 3 seconds at the beginning.
So? Counts?
You know what I really didn't like about the behind the scenes for the World Wakes? Was they like, or just in general, like they kept saying that there was going to be a fancy reveal for the new Guardian of Guthix, and yet this person doesn't even know. Were they talking about Crest? Because if so, I'm pissed, because we didn't even know Crest at the time.
They had to have been talking about death, even though I don't see how you like stories.
Oh, yeah, what's this about whoever likes stories?
Crest.
Yeah,
I guess it's us.
Wait, wait, are they talking about the Scrying Pool, or what?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's us.
Okay.
Alright, so, Crest was the king of the bots. No?
And Bot Finder General Ziliana killed him.
Yep.
Okay.
Bot Finder Ziliana. Yep. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Okay, you guys. Okay, I know what I wanted. No, I'm letting you guys finish your discussion.
Wait, we were discussing something?
I don't know, were you? I wasn't paying attention.
Go ahead.
No, just...
Okay. A couple things. First of all, actually, 3 things. First of all, why was there space in the middle of the Earth?
Because of space.
Oh,
So they destroyed it, of course.
Because Guthix was clearly, like, floating in space, but it was underground. And I don't know how that works.
Oh.
Well,
It's the same reason, it's the same reason why the Runespan is, like, deserts above galaxies, I'd assume.
I guess.
No idea,
We'll go with
honestly.
that.
I thought it was just like Ultra Chasm, like the Tears of Guthix cavern.
the world is flat.
Okay, that actually probably solves everything. Alright, we're done here. Oh boy. But yeah, okay, okay, actually being serious here, one of the questions on the frequently asked questions was about Saren. And the question was, where the heck was Saren and all the other gods while the world was waking? Osborne replies, the other gods will not hesitate in making a return. Some gods have a longer way to come, are less prepared, or simply do not want to return, but you can guarantee that some familiar faces will follow. As for Saren, she has been here on Gielinor all along, so no need to make a return. Go.
Okay. Well then.
Apparently she's in Skyrim too.
What?
Yeah, there's actually a character called Saren in there. Anyway, I think what he is referring to that, which is what most future update people seem to think, is that, what he was referring to was that Saren is all crystal and the divine spirit of the Neema Mundi. So, while she might not be there, all the crystal is still her and the Neema Mundi is still there.
So you consider the crystal, like the crystal weapons, the living crystal, I guess if you want to call it that, to be Saren herself.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm using Saren to kill black demons right now.
Because, let's see. I'm gonna go look for this book.
It could be that Saren this entire time is just like an incorporeal like being or something that's like, it's like one of those is the Anima Mundi and it's like just another name for it or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be it too.
You know,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff with the elf lore that is totally not fleshed out. I mean, the elves are probably the least solved, I guess.
I wouldn't say that.
Lore series that there is, just because we've been waiting forever for a real quest. I mean, Morning's End Part 2 was the last real elf quest.
Besides Within the Light.
Within the Light was a filler. I mean, Chris L. said it himself. He made it in 2 weeks. Like, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, granted, he's a freaking machine, but still.
This is a bit unrelated, but kind of related. You know how they said last year in the Lure Podcast live stream thing? They said that there was going to be a character becoming a god?
Yeah.
Do we know who that is?
It's not.
I still think it's Sliske.
At this point, it makes sense that it would be Sliske.
Yeah.
There was... Oh.
Freaking elves. But yes.
I don't care how much Asinajam has had to think he's trustworthy. I do not trust him.
I don't think anybody trusts him at this point, because, I mean, he clearly was using us throughout the quest to get there, and then was like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing. Fuck you guys. And, I mean, it was... I mean, that was like, alright, well, Sliske, thanks for the memories.
I mean, it just goes to show that the Zerosian faction isn't really that unified anymore. It's...
Well,
since when were they?
To be fair, neither is the Zamorakian faction.
Or Sarah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't really... Sarah doesn't have Majorat, so it's not quite the same.
The gods haven't been there since several thousands of years. Of course they're probably gonna disagree in a lot.
Because, I mean, you have the serious power struggle between Lucian and basically the rest of the Majorat, and that includes his supposed allies on the Zamorakian side. Yeah, but Robo says that in chat that even Guthix, who didn't want to become a god, happened to become one because he killed one with the Elder Weapon.
One thing that Walter wanted to have us talk about is the fact that, like, it's been proven now that the Staff of Armadil is a elder weapon. So does that mean that Armadil himself took the symbol from them?
In the frequently asked questions, they say that he found it, and then named it after himself when he came into the world. Or they said something along those lines.
Oh.
He just gave it his own name.
Yeah.
But then he would have still had stolen the symbol or whatever from...
Yeah,
that
it says that in the
Elder God or
questions,
whatever.
Use a symbol.
Yeah, but it's the Elder God symbol, but he's just adopted it for himself. Just like what Robo was saying earlier about the Saradominist symbol on the Naragi homeland. I mean, on one hand, oh yeah, it could be Saradomin, but it's most likely not. It's more likely a symbol that is common for gods to take because it's on some elder artifact or something like that.
I still think it'd be more interesting to be Saradomin.
Oh yeah, it would be more interesting to be Saradomin, for sure, but...
It's like, oh snap, Saradomin killed... Oh.
Yeah. Plot twist. But yeah, so yeah, we have that. Orange says, ooh, cool, pointy staff, let's keep this. It's the Spear of Armadil.
At least no one died to a pillar in this quest.
We're going to ignore that you just said that. Anyways.
Old joke is old. Rubik, you're late.
Also, in the frequently asked questions, was it Osborne who said it, or was it Anna? Let's see.
Walter, get on that.
Anna says it. The question is, was Guthix the last Naragi? The answer was yes, although by a short amount of time, a matter of moments, implying that the second to last Naragi was killed in the quest.
Yeah, Chris.
Was Chris a Naragi?
That wasn't what I think it was implying. I think it was implying that when you become a god, you basically renounce your previous species affiliation.
But doesn't Guthix say that he wandered around for weeks?
No, but it says... Yeah, Guthix was on his homeworld for a rather lengthy amount of time.
No, he wasn't on it, he was traveling. Like, they said that.
Maybe all the Naragi didn't die at the time that Guthix was alone.
No, but it says, she says explicitly, it was a matter of moments. I don't know.
Could it just mean that they were all dying and he managed to kill a god?
Orlando Smith is a Naragi.
God.
We're done.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's just something, that was something that piqued my interest, and maybe it was that he was, I guess she doesn't say the time frame for him stopping being a Naragi, but I don't know, it implies that the second to last Naragi was killed in the quest. I
kind of disagree. I feel like when you become a god, you're not really a Naragi or a human or a Majorat or whatever, because then you can become a shapeshifter, and then you're basically God, you're basically a god, not a human or Majorat or Naragi.
Obviously.
Yeah, I guess, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Hard to say. It's just kind of implied, and will be interesting to think about, I guess. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, the balance elemental. So,
not a guardian of Guthix.
People are wondering about the balance elemental being a guardian of Guthix, because I mean, it was clearly in while Guthix sleeps, and was just kind of considered to be a central point of this, but then nothing. So, what do you guys think about that?
I'll ask questions to mention that it wasn't.
Very briefly during the quest, I thought that the balance elemental could have been Guthix.
Yeah, right.
During while Guthix sleeps, or
during the world wakes?
During the world wakes.
Very briefly.
Maybe. I
mean, it's evident that the balance elemental comes from a different plane, so maybe that was like a remnant of Guthix who came over from a different plane to help present day Guthix. I don't know.
Anyway.
in before the balance elemental was the second to last Naragi.
No. Well, remember, this all happened in the same day.
Yep.
Well, I mean, yeah. Technically, they unveiled the timeline for all of this and said explicitly that the World Wakes is after these other quests. I mean, and it's not like, it's just kind of implied because one is a requirement for the other that it's after. This is explicitly stated that all of the Majorat quests and all of the Goblin quests are before the World Wakes.
Yep.
The Balance Elemental is a fusion of Ping and Pong. K.
Gnarly, man.
K. Thanks, Gina. But yeah.
No.
No.
It had to be done.
No.
No, it didn't. Anyway, I say we should finally move on now.
Yeah, unless anybody has anything else to say explicitly about the quest, we will move on to other matters. Does anybody have anything else?
Wait, I'm still wondering what the ground at Guthix's area says.
It says balance in all things.
Oh.
It says balance in all things?
Yep. And if you read the sign next to Guthix's house, it says, something like, all welcome, or something that I forgot. It's on the wiki though.
And the other thing that I found a little disturbing is like Guthix wanted to be forgotten in the very end, and then they build a shrine at his grave.
Yeah, the player asked why they did that.
That seemed a bit silly in my opinion.
The player asks why they did that, though. Like, but it's just like, but it's the same question about, well, Guthix wanted to be forgotten as a god when he first went to sleep. Like, he knew that was not, like, he knew that saying, like, actually, the Guardians of Guthix didn't know that he wanted to be forgotten. I don't think. We didn't tell them that, did we?
No.
We didn't tell them anything about what happened.
Could they take it?
What do you mean, could they take it?
I mean, they just want their god just die. Could they take it?
No, I mean, I don't think they would have. I think regardless of whether we told them or not, they would have built a shrine for him. But the thing is, we didn't tell them that he just wanted to be forgotten. So there's no reason to think they wouldn't build a shrine for him.
But they do know because they act like, they're like, oh yeah, we know, when you ask why they built it.
I wonder. What does Jenna say after you complete the quest?
She doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's like
Fiara talks about, just God stuff. How they're gonna come back.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the characters, like, Azzy has new dialogue, Wahasitel has new dialogue.
Char has new dialogue.
Therisk has new dialogue as well.
Who's next?
Chill, Dark.
Why don't you go find out? Bring your entire bank.
Well, next, I'd like to ask you a couple questions.
Maybe she's friendly.
This will take a...
How do you feel about Guthix's death?
A blood siphon will solve this.
Uh-oh.
Hey, next. I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Please, frustrated, blank.
Oh, shit.
Hi, Mo.
But, yeah, so, I lost my train of thought. Oh, but yeah, they all mentioned, like, all the characters that were in the quest, pretty much, aside from apparently Kakimix, have new dialogue, but Juna's is pretty much like, I just watched my chosen god that I'm supposed to be guarding die. I really don't want to talk about it right now.
Hey Orange, didn't I say that was one of the things that would happen?
Pardon?
Remember, like a day before the quest came out, we were talking about what Gina might say after the quest, and I was like, one of the things I said was, I don't want to talk about it, as if that's
Oh
what
yeah.
Gina is.
Yeah, I remember that. Wow.
I also told you, Robo, that we'd meet Gothics on the quest.
Okay.
Okay, there.
Irrelevant to what just happened, but...
Alright, maybe we should move on.
Yeah.
Wilderness Warbands.
Robo gets
Dead
all of the
content,
Scryer
moving on.
XPs for this. Because not only did he write the quest, he also predicted what would happen after the quest. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, but yeah, so we have that, and I believe we have exhausted pretty much everything, except for the lack of Kharshai there. But does he have new dialogue after the world wakes?
No.
I can't remember.
I didn't even try to talk to him.
He is blissfully uninformed.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, God.
I think they mentioned that he would be informed shortly. Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh god, if he attempted to become the new god of balance,
Lol.
I would face that so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's that. Yeah, there's not much anything like that.
Moving on.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else. I'm just reading down this
Yeah,
list.
quest spam. Yeah, if we're out of quest spam, I have to go.
Alright.
Okay, I think we're out of quest spam at
See
least
ya, Gina.
for now. So, see you later, Gina.
See ya.
Okay, so if we are moving on, along with the World Wakes, they released new combat stuff. So, you have, they added...
Dual wielding is now just as good as two-hander.
Massively buffed dual wielding for all styles, melee, mage, and ranged. They allowed mage to cast 2 different spells with each hand. I have no idea how that works, but okay.
I don't see how it would be useful in any way.
I mean, do you remember that demon that you had to hit with all 4 types of the spell?
That is true.
Oh yeah. Maybe,
I
but
can see
it's like,
that, or something like,
I mean, I can see
Yeah,
potential
Dagonoth Mother.
ice.
the Dagonoth Mother, yeah.
I can see potential in an ice blood combo.
I think
True.
I think what they were going for with offhand mage casting is that you can combine it with melee. Like you can melee with one hand and mage in the other, and it sounds ridiculous, or range in one hand and melee in the other, but you can already do that with mage or with melee and
Range.
You can do it the other way.
So they wanted to add that for mage and range and mage and melee, and so
I
to
never
do that
did.
they had to add offhand casting.
I never knew it didn't exist, really.
Yeah, I never
tried it.
tried it. Yeah, I bring my chaotic staff places and just shoot things. So I've never even worried about even using shields, to be honest.
Same.
The first time I used a shield was at the Neckrail task because I had no offhand ranged weapon. But yeah, like...
Crystal Bow.
But you can't use ice and blood. I thought you were talking about like fire and blood. I'm like, you can't do that because they're on different spell books.
I mean, I can
What
see
if you
potential
could?
in that. I'd have to test it.
But like using something like ranged and fire spells or something like that on demons or something would be interesting, to say the least. But yeah, okay, so we have that, and also along with this update they gave 5 new ultimates because those were rewards from the World Wakes. And they also made mobilizing armies even more dead content because the 6-stage circuit is now
Oh, yeah.
best ring
No,
for
it isn't.
crit.
The Onyx ring
I
is
know
still
Onyx
just...
Imbued has higher armor rating, but it has either the same or less crit.
It's the same.
So
still,
Onyx
dead
brings-
content
Yeah.
is dead.
True.
unless you're really bad at quests.
Yeah, well, that's an excuse.
I like growing it just because it has a 6th agent.
Yeah, I carry it along with me so I can quickly teleport back to the Gothic Shrine at any given time.
For the lore.
How's that?
Yeah, for the lore.
I didn't know it does that. Whoops.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, derp. But yeah, so they added that, and then the 5 new ultimates are apparently quite good, because they not only buff you, but they deal damage to everything around you.
Well, I like Guthix's blessing. That's really useful. It's like a, it's like a minor version of, what is it? Forgot at the moment.
Like it's like if Rejuvenate isn't there, then you just have another ability that is
Rejuvenate.
incredibly OP on the healing.
Mm-hmm.
Which one was the one that was talked about in regards to PvP? I mean, I know that none of us are PvPers, unless...
The defense one.
but one of them is, it drains all of your opponent's adrenaline and gives it to you.
Yeah. Instantly your target's adrenaline. If fighting a non-player opponent, that does not use adrenaline for the next 20 seconds, you will gain 10% adrenaline for you. So basically, it is a PvP ability. It's almost useless in anything but PvP.
Yeah.
So,
well,
like,
I mean,
you get 200% adrenaline for, what?
I mean, whatever. I mean, yay PvP, I guess. Whatever. That was just one that came up in discussion. So.
Crestbot is just awesome.
Lol Crestbot.
Program for companionship.
Crestbot got you good. Ha ha ha. Silly Crestbot. But yeah, okay, so we have... was there anything else, aside from the run energy change, which deserves like 2 seconds of mention? Basically, they changed the agility...
It was unneeded. I don't see any reason why it needed to be added.
Yeah.
Because you already can run everywhere without losing energy. And if you need to, you can spend literally 30 seconds to get full run energy.
How can you run anywhere without losing energy?
That's what I wanted to know. It was completely pointless. Like, if you're, on a free-to-play world, but then again...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they did it for, really, is for super low-level agility people, because it is awful trying to run anywhere on free-to-play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they can get 5 agility.
For us I think pretty much all of us have 80+ agility. And at that point, it is kind of like, okay, well, we're kind of good, we're kind of set in that regard.
I mean, at the very least, we all have 77+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that was it for the combat updates. Oh, we had talked about this actually in the chat a little bit earlier with regards to the armor changes, and they're adding new combat stuff next week. Is the armor changes next week, or are they doing something else?
It's
I
next
think
week.
that might be later.
Well, we are getting the holiday event this week.
Well, yeah, we're getting the holiday event, which we'll talk about in just a little bit.
I do wonder what that is,
we probably
actually.
should have talked about that already, but the new combat stuff, they're changing the armors, so things like next gear, like sets, it seems like they give bonuses, and they're changing it such that armor is not strictly defensive anymore. It's gonna kind of go back to what it was pre-rework, pre-EOC.
Well,
where
there's going to be 2 types of armor. There's going to be defensive armor, and then there's going to be offensive armor, which sacrifices defense.
Actually, there's going to be 4 types.
Oh,
there's going to be...
I only watched 2 minutes in the BTS video, so...
Well,
wow, man. Wow.
Do you even scry?
No, I was at school when I was watching it.
Lame excuses, lame. Anyways, go on, Lime.
Well, there's going to be 4 types of armor. There's going to be purely defensive armor. There's going to be offensive armor, which will also have defensive stats, but it'll have less. There's going to be hybrid armor, which I'm not sure whether it's a hybrid between the offensive and defensive armors.
It's hybrid. I think I read
Or
somewhere that it's
class.
hybrid between stats. So it's mage melee or
so it's going to be hybrid
melee range.
It was really confusing for me whether it be hybrid class or.
So it gives. So it seems like it's that, and it gives no negatives to. Like mage armor gives negatives to melee and ranged. So hybrid armor will not give negatives to the other stats, but it won't give positives to anyone either.
So it'll be more friendly for dual wielding with different,
Yes.
Oh yeah, there might actually be an excuse to have chainmail and plate bodies difference now.
Huh. Yeah, maybe.
And the last one was critical armor, which increases your chance to critical hit something.
Oh, I forgot about the crits.
I do wonder, what's the point of a dagger?
Well, stabbing.
To stab people with.
Sharp, pointy object.
Stabbing things, cutting through spider webs.
Isn't there like a better thing for that though?
No, because everything's the same DPS now.
I mean, like, instead of a dagger, you can have something that's the same thing as a dagger, but better.
Yeah, but everything else is more expensive.
Whatever. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, Rubik.
A Rubikism.
K, Rubik. K.
Soroki agrees with me.
But yeah, so we have that and all that other fun stuff. Why can't I remember?
Wilderness warbands.
Yeah, next thing up, unless I'm missing something or anybody wants to mention something else about combat. Anybody? Nope,
No.
we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I plan on killing Rubik.
The next thing up is the next wave of Wilderness Dead content. I mean Wilderness warbands.
Oh my.
Yeah, so they're apparently doing this, and yeah, somebody else can take this away.
Well, I personally, for one, don't think it would be dead content because of the way it's designed. Like, it's not pure PvP. Like, I mean, it encourages PvP, but you don't have to kill people for it. And also, it actually has a good reward. I mean, look at the wands now. We have an Aram's wand that's like 40 mil. We have a Virtus wand that's like 140 mil.
It's like 400.
If this is like, imagine if this is a level 75 wand, which it seems, based on what it's implied in the BTS, it might very well be level 75. And if it's
just filling in the gaps.
Yeah, I mean, if not dead content, that thing is going to be more expensive than the Virtus wand at first, just because it's so rare.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
what if
eventually, regardless dead content or not, it'll even out between the two. But yeah.
Well, I also am preparing for it myself because of the story behind it. It's supposed to also continue the story of the God series. So I got like 10 sets of rune plate bodies and legs and Batwing and Royal D'hide.
BRB, chaotic staff.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Interesting to see how they integrate that. But it's basically, what exactly is the warbands? I can't remember what it is. Somebody else can.
Well,
I haven't read the BTS, so I don't know.
I don't know.
So let's just say there's some artifacts out in the wilderness that the different gods want to collect because they're power hungry, and the Guthixians see that if they get these artifacts that they're going to be getting unbalanced in power, so they're sending out different forces to try and stop them from getting it. It's kind of like a Bandos move, really, because they just want to make them fight. They don't want
well,
themselves.
I mean, it kind of is, but in this case, it's fighting to keep the balance.
Yeah.
I can see it being World Wakes related.
Well, of course it'll be World Wakes related.
Have they already confirmed that anything after the quest will be related to it in some way?
Yeah.
They have, or have they?
They have confirmed.
They have.
Yeah, they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, everything else this month is related to it in one way or another. So, we have that. But before the Wilderness Warbands come out, we have the Easter event, which is next week, which the Scrying Pool is suspecting will be some kind of Guthix memorial kind of thing.
I think it'll be about this stage.
I think it'll have a Guthix Godsword as a reward. And that's just the word I'm using for the sword thingy that is two-handed and Robo is obsessed with now.
Is that doctored, or is that an actual concept art thing?
It's a real thing. It's from the Jagex Twitter, Facebook.
Interesting. I can't see them, that might be a ceremonial sword, though. There's no way that they would actually add a god sword from a holiday event.
Well, it's just my slang term for it. It's just a joke as to why everyone says there should be a Guthix god sword, and it's a two-handed sword with Guthix theme.
It looks like a ceremonial Guthix sword of some variety. In that context. If it wasn't in the context of a holiday event, I'd say, yeah, absolutely, it's a Guthix god sword. But
I wouldn't think it's a god sword because I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. And it's not like there's a Guthix boss in God Wars anyway, so in 4, but yeah. Gothic God's sword. Okay.
I do hope it's my biggest hope for is that since they do have this customization stuff anyway, they should use it for the holiday events and give free rewards for it, so you can actually use it as actual combat items, not just play items.
But you're talking about offering to keepsake it or something?
Or not offer to keepsake it, but you know how they released that Facebook mask for free if you logged in? Well, it was just because of that, basically they gave it for free and I think they could do it again.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say.
2007
so we have that, and then that was the Easter thing. Is there anything else anybody wants to mention about said Easter event?
I think Sarah Dillon would be in it.
So you think Sarah... Well, I mean, Sarah is technically on the plane now. Walter wants to say something.
I wonder if we can find him anywhere.
He's probably...
We know that it has spoilers, and there will be an option to skip said spoilers.
Skip Sarah Dillon.
Yeah, maybe. It might be. But... I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess Sarah Dillon being on the surface would be a gigantic spoiler, wouldn't it? Because not only does it mean that there's a god walking the face of Gielinor, it also means that, where's Guthix?
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean Guthix dies.
Let's be honest, Gordon. Half the people who would be doing it probably don't even know what lure is.
Well, no, I mean, I'm fully well aware that that people that would be worried about spoilers or that would have the issue with spoilers wouldn't know what a lure or whatever the hell that is. What even is a lure?
Shut up.
Fishing lure.
Maybe it's a good costume.
It's what you do. It's what you do when you tell Rubik to go take his entire bank to Nex.
Hey, come face the Wilderness Warbands.
With your entire bank. And B4 puts it in the money pouch and foiled again. But yeah. Someone dresses up. Totally not Sarah Noman. Yeah, okay. K, Robo. K. But yeah, so we have that, and that's the Easter event, and a couple other things that are going to be showing up in March is going to be changing to spamblers in the GE. Finally, they get rid of the freaking gamblers, or at least do something to get rid of them.
Yeah.
They've already added, what was it the term? The hot cold stuff to,
the auto mute thing?
Yeah, the auto mute.
Yeah. Something.
Oh dear. But yeah, they added gambling terms to auto mute. They are making changes such that I think what are they doing? Making gambling a reportable offense, or what was it?
Probably something along those lines.
Let's find out. BTS, go. Game changes. Oh yeah, they're making Burthorpe and Taverley free, as well as associated quests and training areas, and they're allowing free players to train everything up to level 5. Changing run energy. Other alterations we intend to make this month are changes centered around the flower games and associated risk gameplay that currently dominates the Grand Exchange. Exactly what these are is going to be up to you. We've built a variety of solutions, and we'll talk to you. So yeah. So it's pretty much just like, we're doing something about them, but you don't know what it is yet. And they haven't really revealed anything about that, so we just have to keep an eye on that at this point. What do you picture spamming? What's it do? Oh dear. Oh, is this one of the randoms?
Yeah, randomers are so much fun.
Oh, the randomers at the,
Meeting of the quarter. That is the entire reason I hosted on Free-to-Play Worlds. Randomers are just so much fun.
Oh boy. But yeah, so you have that. That'll help deal with spamblers, and hopefully there will be less hot-cold spam in the GE now. Hopefully.
Yeah.
If it's just an auto-mute thing, wouldn't they just switch it to cold hot?
I think that's banned as well. There's some like sort of kind of code word that they're using now, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care what it is, but apparently there is, and whatever. They're gonna find some way around doing that, and it's just like, stupid people. But yeah.
The final solution to it will be to mute everyone permanently.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no.
It's a robo-mute, where he gets muted for something he doesn't even know about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so they have that, and I mean, it's interesting. There's not a whole lot to talk about with that. There's not a whole lot else to mention about March. I guess here I'll insert a couple things that we're looking forward to in April that probably pertain to what has happened with the World Wakes and other updates around now. And first off is the HTML5 beta. We're looking forward to that. Rubik says maybe April, you're thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably April, and they have made changes in the live game to that regard already. What did they disable? They disabled OpenGL? Or was it software?
Software, I think.
Software had to go, I think.
Yeah, okay, so software they disabled, and they were pretty much like, we're doing this to pave the way for HTML5, and from the screenshots that I've seen of HTML5, oh my god, it looks awesome.
I've only seen the one from a long time ago.
I mean, there's more than one. There's a couple.
There's only two,
but still, like, that's
still
like,
screen caps. It's something.
Yeah,
they're old,
and
though.
to have customizable interfaces, like, oh man, it'll be so nice.
Yeah.
And before complaining on the forums,
wonderful.
Yeah, that always happens. But yes, and then aside from HTML5, there's the new skill that may or may not be coming in April. I mean, we knew that they were doing early this year, and we know it relates to the quest that just happened in some tangential way. So April, maybe?
Maybe.
Trevor actually said something in a different Skype group. It was like, or maybe it was Doc. I can't remember which one.
Wow, guys, way to not invite me.
Yeah. But he said something along the lines of, because that this BTS is so short, or this BTS is so short because there's going to be like a new skill next month. Like it's one of those, like this is the calm before the storm kind of BTSs, I suppose. So perhaps that might be it, but we'll see. After the World Wakes, do we have any better ideas on what this new skill is going to be?
I think it can be like a
archaeology
related skill.
Boom.
A what related skill?
A prayer related skill? I'm not sure.
No. Apparently the two skills are directly related.
I think it's either archaeology or some certain skill to do with the World Guardian stuff.
But like basically, for some reason, you know how they said before, the two skills aren't related? Mon Mark decided to go out and say, oh, they are directly related. And it makes sense.
He never said they weren't related.
No, yeah, he
was
did.
always saying that they probably were going to be related.
He said they weren't directly related to each other.
We didn't say it like they said they aren't like mining and smithing, but now it's changed. He says they are connected, but they're not like mining and smithing. Now he says they're like mining and smithing pretty much.
Mm-hmm. What Robo said.
I mean, and they're entitled to changing stuff as time goes on. I mean, that's
of course
how it kind of works.
That's the development process.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But yeah, okay. So that's unless anybody has anything else to say about that.
I think that's pretty much it.
We're done.
I think we're pretty much done.
Next, not even a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Hour 40 minutes at this point. So. But I mean, aside from the World Wakes, there really hasn't been much the last month, and there isn't much in this BTS, so, hopefully next month we'll have quite a bit to discuss, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the lore, for like HTML5 beta and a new skill or something like that. I mean, that would be incredible to see.
I mean, this next month is very hardware based, software based.
I mean, it's really what they've been spending their money on, that their added revenue from various things has gone towards this kind of upgrading, and I'm curious to see how it'll go. I'm really curious. But yeah, so again, unless anybody else has anything to say further about, any of these topics.
I think my power drill just broke.
Your power drill broke, but your computer still exists, and your headset.
I'm not.
I think this marks the first time that Lime's headset has not died in a podcast.
Actually, I'm not using the headset. I'm just using the built-in microphone.
Oh, okay.
You better end it before it does.
It was dead the entire time.
Oh.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It sounds about the same, though.
I abandoned
What do you think?
I say we wrap it all up now.
I say I agree. So the rest of this month is looking to be pretty good with regards to lore, because everything involves the World Wakes, and it's going to be nice
for the rest of the year
for Jagex to really to introduce the content and then keep it going. That's something they've never done before. Today we're actually doing this. We're recording this on a Sunday, so it's interesting to think about. Well, the holiday event could actually just be tomorrow. They've released everything on Mondays the last couple months, but
I like that
could be
too.
Tomorrow.
I like Monday updates.
Yeah, Monday updates are nice, and it gives them more time to bug fix after the fact. But it's
as long as there isn't a major problem, it works.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, they have that, and it's nice for them to start with some kind of big event and then keep the ball rolling like they've never done before. I mean, usually it's just one quest and then you talk about it for a year and a half and then, oh hey look, here's a sequel to it. But in this case, they release it and then things get moving because of the timeline that they set up, which I don't think we ever talked about.
And then crap hits the fan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Killer.
In before the entire world looks like Edgeville.
Oh,
That'd be
great.
amazing.
No.
I-
Shut up.
That would be
My
lag
office
hell
hack.
for like half of the game. Or for half of the player base. But
HTML is supposed to fix all that.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, so I believe that is pretty much it, unless anybody else can say any kind of closing remarks. Now would be the time to do so.
Not
Nope.
really.
No.
Yeah. Alright, well, hope you guys all enjoyed this, and we will be back next month for the 10th podcast.
Oh my god,
Scrying
Lord.
for the lore. So yeah, we will. I will see you guys around.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Lime. See y'all later.